Welcome to Breakdown. Today is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. JJ, SEC and Big Ten. You want to break down some news?
Let's talk about all the news.
Okay. You want to start with Mr. Harbaugh, Coach Harbaugh?
Yeah. So, as you guys might be aware, Coach Harbaugh and one arm of the NCAA agreed on a 4-game suspension for recruiting violations in the COVID dead period in 2020. Unfortunately for Mr. Harbaugh, all of the NCAA did not agree to this. The arm that he negotiated it with is not the arm that approves it, and we just heard back a couple of days ago that the approving arm did not accept the 4-game suspension.
What does that mean, JJ?
It means Harbaugh will not be suspended this season.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're not gonna. They won't have time to get because Harbaugh won't accept a suspension that makes him play like that goes in effect in the middle of the season. You know, all his easiest games are at the beginning of the season.
Correct.
So yeah. So for all intents and purposes, this is gonna roll over to next year, and we'll find out what his suspension is if he's still a coach in college football as of next year.
Okay. So is that good news for Coach Harbaugh, or indifferent news, or is it bad news, or what?
I think it's indifferent. I think
Okay.
it's mostly just not. I think it mostly reflects poorly on the NCAA. I mean, they're having a hard enough time legitimizing like their existence. And you know, as we go further and further into the NIL era, and what is not allowed, I think it's just, for me, it's much ado about nothing. I'm not concerned about it. I don't think Michigan fans are super concerned about it this season. I think they're more looking into what's going to happen this season.
Okay. Well, speaking of Coach Harbaugh, the top 25, AP top 25 came out this week. Where did the coach and his team land?
The same place that he landed in the coaches poll, the USA Today coaches poll, which is number 2 behind the defending champion Georgia Bulldogs.
2-time champions. Georgia, Michigan's number 2. Michigan has gone to the playoff the last 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
The likelihood of there being a 3-year in a row is pretty significant, right?
I think that's what the AP voters would think, and you know, given their schedule and everything, I think it's a pretty good chance that they will make it 3 in a row. But that's why you play the games. You don't know who's going to get injured. You don't know what's going to happen. So from the preseason standpoint, I'd say that they're in a pretty good spot. They're one of 5 teams in the Big Ten to be ranked in the top 25.
Okay. Let's talk about the top 25 ranking. You said there was 5 teams in the Big Ten ranked.
Yeah.
Michigan is the highest. There are 6 in the SEC ranked, and the 2-time defending champion Georgia is rated number 1. They're the highest.
That's 11 total from the SEC and the Big Ten. That's pretty
11
good.
up to 25. That's right.
Also,
Yes, sir.
both conferences have 2 other schools that in a couple of years
Next year, July 1.
Yeah. So that would make it 15 of the top 25. You know, if everything holds true. So that's pretty significant.
Yeah, you're talking Washington
And Oregon in the Big Ten, and Texas and Oklahoma.
in the Southeast Conference. That's correct.
Yeah.
JJ, with a season, let's just name the top 5. The top 5 is Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, and LSU.
So, am I mistaken, or is that all SEC and Big Ten teams?
3 SEC, 2 Big Ten. With no Pac-4, no ACC, no Big 12.
Is there a power? I guess it's a power 4 now. Is it still a power 4, or is it a power 2?
There is a power 4, but the power 2 is flexing their muscles right now. But JJ, will the season end with Georgia number 1?
That's a good question.
Will it end? Will Georgia and Michigan play for the championship game? What does Penn State have to say about the playoff? Penn State is sitting really, really pretty, if you ask me.
Yeah, all those teams that you mentioned have real big question marks at the most important position in sports. There's only one.
LSU does not.
LSU.
And you're talking about this position being the quarterback.
Yeah, there's only one school per conference, Michigan and LSU, that return their trigger man, their quarterback.
Okay, that's true.
So there's a lot to be to be learned from in Ohio State, in Georgia, in Alabama. All of those schools had quarterbacks that were drafted. Alabama and Ohio State had the first two picks in the NFL draft, and Stetson Bennett, he went in the fifth round, but I mean he's going to be very hard to replace too.
JJ, are we looking at an all SEC Big Ten playoff this at the end of this season?
That could have been the case last year.
TCU had something to say about that.
TCU did have something to say about it. They were able to win a game late, but it was this close to happening last year. Alabama.
Yeah, Nick Saban lobbied for it, but I think TCU was the right team there.
It could happen this year. It's still set up that Michigan and Ohio State are in the same division. So if they both go into that game undefeated, I would be shocked if they both didn't make it to the playoff.
Who's more likely to have two teams in the playoff? Is it the Big Ten or the SEC?
That's a good question. I mean, you have Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State versus LSU, Alabama, and Georgia. I'm gonna say the Big Ten because of the schedule that Michigan plays.
Okay.
And I just think that there's a little bit. I think there's more of a gauntlet in the SEC this year for sure.
Okay.
What say you?
The SEC, the East and the West, Georgia dominates the SEC East. Alabama previously dominated the West, but then there's LSU returning a lot of people and got a really, really, really good coach in my mind. I would never sleep on LSU. Georgia and Alabama can lose some games, I believe. Georgia don't play anyone until they play Tennessee in the regular season. Yeah. And then assuming they win the East, they would play the championship game. A one-loss Georgia and a one-loss Alabama or one-loss LSU. There's going to be some teams, JJ, with one loss that may not get there.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm not putting anything past Penn State this year yet. Although they got a big issue quarterback as well. But
yeah, they have to show and prove.
You don't have to always have the greatest quarterback to win.
Georgia would agree with you.
Okay. If JJ, the season end with everything except for the championship game, and the championship just as hypothetically pitting Georgia and Michigan 1 against 2, if it ends just like the AP rankings, and like I said, ignoring the championship game because we're not going to pick a winner in that one. But if it was just like the ranking, who'd be happier, the SEC or the Big Ten?
If Georgia and Michigan were playing each other, like we don't know what the end of that.
Yeah, if they were playing each other, but also all the other 23 teams ranked, they fell just like the projections.
I would say I don't know who would be happier because you have two Big Ten teams and two SEC teams both in the playoff.
Okay, I'm trying to get down to some of the non-playoff teams. Let's talk about the other Big Ten teams.
Okay.
We started with Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State, boy, what you think about Ohio State this year? They got the receivers.
Yeah, they always have the receiver. They're basically wide receiver U. Yeah, I mean they have the talent. Ryan Day's an A+ recruiter. It just all comes down to the quarterback play.
And okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. I think it's unfortunate that you got to wait to the end of the season to have a really, really good thing. I mean, some games in the middle, like I don't know if Michigan really has a tough game until they get to the end of the season. And Georgia has a semi-tough one with Tennessee. But it would be great to have some earlier competition as well. But that game gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. But let's look at the second 5. Well, you have the only one up the group in the second 5 would be Penn State. They're number 7.
Yeah.
That's a good spot for Penn State.
I think this is a perfect spot for them. I mean, the defense is gonna be great. The offense returns 2 studs at running back. they lose one receiver, but the receiving room should be good too. I mean, it comes down to Drew Alar, if he is what they say he is or not. We'll see.
Among those conferences, that's a 17. Those are what 6 of the top 7 teams
Yeah.
are SEC. Looking the next highest SEC Big Ten, the next highest team in the SEC Big Ten is Tennessee, rated 12.
Yeah.
They got your man at quarterback, JJ.
The Michigan transfer from Florida,
Joe Milton.
Joe Milton. He's the strongest arm I've seen in college football. So we'll see if that translates to on the field success. He won the starting job 2 years ago over Hendon Hooker and was quickly beat out, in the second game. So
Started at U of M as well, right?
He started 1 year at U of M. He started the season against Minnesota and then quickly flamed that out. He quickly flamed out there too. So we'll see if he has some longevity this time. He has all the physical tools. Let's see if he's in the right system that best fits them. What say you?
You know what? Tennessee has quietly been accumulating some good talent there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I know they will be deep. I don't know if they are that strong though, but I do know they're deep. They're deep. The next highest rated team, JJ, Wisconsin at 19.
Yeah.
With a new coach.
New coach, new quarterback.
After that, 22 and 23, 2 SEC schools, Ole Miss and Texas A&M. Ole Miss had a decent record last year.
Yeah, it started off really strong and then they faded down the stretch.
Yeah, losing the Egg Bowl. Texas A&M, what was it? 5 games they won last year.
They did not win enough to be bowl eligible.
They did not win 6.
They did not win 6, but
So I think it was 5. Had a great amount of talent. They had nearly 30 players to lead their program.
yeah.
Should they be rated higher than 23?
I don't know why they're that high. Honestly, I haven't really seen a lot from Jimbo outside of the COVID year.
They got Bobby Petrino there this year.
You know what? That's true. I do believe in Bobby Petrino, but I don't know if that's gonna work. They have 2 very strong personalities in the offensive side of things with Jimbo and Bobby.
I say Texas A&M is a top 10 talent school based on their talent.
Yeah.
I don't think the coaches are going to blow it up. I can see them. They got a tough schedule with LSU and Alabama. This will be interesting. Lastly, JJ, Iowa. They're rated 25th in the poll.
Yeah. New quarterback, new tight end from the same university. They lost a starting corner, Riley Moss, and lost a couple of other, like a starting linebacker and first-round linebacker. So they had a really, really good defense last year. I think it was top 3 defense in the country, but they lost a lot of pieces from that. So,
will the offense click this year?
it will need to. It will need to. I mean, I don't understand. Well, I do understand how the offensive coordinator is still there. He's really close to the head coach. Like, they share 50% of the same DNA. But Brian Ferentz needs to show and prove that he can. I mean, even a top 50 in the country offense would be a drastic improvement.
So what do you think about their new quarterback?
Yeah, Cade McNown. I mean, he's already proven he can beat Ohio State. He's Cade McNamara. He's proven that he can beat Ohio State. He has the moxie. He has his security blanket at tight end coming along with him, Eric Hall. If he can stay healthy, that's going to be a really. I mean, he's a first day type of talent at the tight end position. So, in the NFL draft. So, I mean, I think this could be a really good for Caden.
Okay. JJ, I'm beginning to get ready for some football.
You ready?
I'm getting ready for some football. JJ, we just went down to the top 25 from the Big Ten and the SEC perspective. We talked about Jim Harbaugh. Can we close it on a kind of sad note for me personally?
Yeah, it's a little somber note. We can talk about some recent
some mishaps for ex-Arkansas Razorback players.
Yeah.
Ryan Mallett and
Alex Collins,
AC.
Yeah.
Well,
As
let us know what happened. What happened? What happened with those two guys?
two great former Razorbacks lost their life far too young. And, it was almost more than that. Peyton Hillis was in a coma, and he almost lost his life trying to save his nephew and his son. But that was a positive story. What happened a little bit later than that was less positive. Ryan Mallett, a month ago, passed away when he and his fiance were swimming in the ocean in Florida, the Gulf Coast, and
Mexico.
He drowned.
A riptide. They said took him out to sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and within the last couple of days, AC.
And then a couple of days ago, Alex Collins was driving his motorcycle, and
Yeah, those are two legends at Arkansas. And
absolutely.
Everybody got to love AC because when he was at his announcement program, his mother knew he was going to stay in the state of Florida. And they put on that Razorback hat. She got up and walked out.
And then
she was not happy.
And then later,
wouldn't sign his release form.
Yeah, later wouldn't sign the release form.
And Ryan Mallett is the Texarkana native who played at U of M.
He did play at U of M under
Rich
Lloyd Carr. He originally under Lloyd Carr.
That's true. I'm sorry.
Then Rich Rod came in and
that's when he left.
Thought he was going to get Terrell Pryor. So
yeah. So Michigan's loss was Arkansas game,
and it was a great game for Arkansas. He led Arkansas's comeback. Their turnaround. They went to a Sugar Bowl under him.
Played Ohio State in that Sugar Bowl. Yeah, should have won.
Ohio State didn't win technically. If you look at the record books, but
okay.
But he did. He threw. I still remember that pick he threw. And once we were right in the red zone and going to take the lead. I remember that pick, but
that one as well.
We wouldn't have been there without him. I remember the game against LSU where right before halftime he threw it to Kobe Hamilton.
Yeah, it was 6 seconds to go. They were on their 20, 25?
Yeah.
LSU had just kicked off. Arkansas, everybody thought Arkansas was going to down the ball or something like that with 6 seconds to go into halftime. And Bobby Petrino, he said, I don't play that way. It's all gas, no break.
Yeah.
80-yard touchdown pass on the last play of the halftime. Yeah. A great game.
A great memory. And that was in Little Rock. That was a great memory for playing the Razorbacks. And we all know the memories that Alex Collins left as well. We can talk about that one spectacular play against Ole Miss. Was it
the heave?
The fourth
that gave Alabama the championship game.
Yeah, it did. It did, but
because Alabama would not even made it to the thing if it were not for the heave.
But Alex Collins.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and he's one of three SEC running backs to rush for 1,000 yards in their true freshman season, sophomore season, and junior season. Darren McFadden is one. Alex Collins the other. Do you know who the other SEC running back to do that is?
I would say one of the Auburn's back, Cadillac or somebody, but no, I don't know who.
He ran for Senate in Georgia recently.
Herschel. Wow, that's a while ago then.
Yeah, it was.
Forget about Herschel.
It was Herschel, D-Mac, and Alex Collins. He's one of. Okay. That's a great company to be in. He was a great guy. Everyone loved his smile. Everyone loved being around him, and it's just too bad that
Hey, we're going to be able to get out of here, but Ryan, Alex, rest in peace, guys. WPS. We'll pig sweet. JJ. Next time. See you.